Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Spike 2.0 back again once again. And today, people, today we are here for the #1 Sentai Gozyuger series review, talking about everything that we thought about the series and all my pros, all my cons, my favorite stuff, my not so favorite stuff, you know, just some of our favorite moments in Gozyuger, which I'm just gonna do it right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Gozyuger an 8. I would give Gozyuger an 8, maybe a 7.5, but it's either an 8 or a 7.5 for me. And I'm just gonna go ahead and be like, hey, I like Gozyuger. I like this series. I like the characters. I like the suits. I like the references. I like Gozyuger, and it sucks that it's the last Sentai for a while, because it really does feel like this wasn't supposed to be the last Sentai, even though it is like an anniversary series and, you know, all that jazz, right? But I do like this series. I'm sad to see it go. Well, sad that it's gone. And I mean, we still got some Gozyuger stuff, you know, coming up in the near future. You know, we got the movie and some other things coming up for it. So it's not completely gone yet. Like we're getting ready to get into like the Project Red stuff, you know, and when the Project Red stuff officially starts, then yeah, Sentai, Power Rangers, all that jazz will be gone for a while, and we're just gonna have to wait till it comes back. Well, I'll be here when Sentai comes back. I don't know how long it's gonna be, I'll be honest with you, but we'll be here when Sentai comes back. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, some of my cons with the series and some of my little like other plot points and just little subtle things about the show that I kind of felt like maybe needed some more time to cook, right? Or some more time to be like explored upon. My one is the whole like with Tegajun and with the original woman that created her, and you know, the No.1 monster that's in her cockpit. We never did anything with that. We really didn't do much with. We learned what it was. We learned who that No.1 is and everything, but we didn't learn anything about that. Like, is that No.1 still inside of her? And if so, like that, her creator's dead body is still inside of her. Like you revealed that, and you also introduced this very powerful No.1 monster that literally just had the power of like creation, and we didn't do anything else with that No.1. Like, we even destroyed it at one point, and it came right back. So it's like, what happened to that? I kind of would like to see like what happened to that, you know. And when it comes down to the entire like the anniversary feel of this show, it to a degree to me never really felt like an anniversary type of series, right? Like we had these different warriors around the world, well, basically around, who were different, who could become different Red Rangers, and like even like returning people from different toku shows, people from different Sentai coming in and basically like being like ring warriors, right? Like we had old boy who did Taya. He was here. He was our first ring warrior. We even had Gotchard's actor come in. I think he was Gozyuger. He was Gozyuger Red. We had Rai. Well, yeah, he was Buster. He was Blue Buster, right? He was Blue Buster, but you know, he came back and he was his main ring he liked to turn into was Maji Red, and you know, he would turn into Zenkaiser Black every now and then too. But I just felt like the whole like ring thing, and the whole like with the different ring warriors all being different Red Rangers, that was a cool concept. But I really did feel like it was going to be more. I felt like it was going to be like a more battle royale-y kind of thing, where it was like I guess in a way kind of like a Geats thing, but not completely. But the whole, like, when it came down to the whole, you know, Ring Warrior thing, it really sort of felt like an afterthought a lot of the time. Like, there would even be times where we would get they would get rings off screen, you know, like it really felt like this whole the Ring Warrior and the Ring War stuff sometimes felt like, you know, like an afterthought. You know, it kind of felt like the B plot of the series, and the main plot was like, you know, other things like, you know, #1 battles and Baraidon, like what Baraidon's doing, Sword stuff, you know, like this team's bread and butter, you know. And then for that, the whole Ring War stuff was like an afterthought, right? Because sometimes I forgot they were doing the whole Ring War thing. Especially when like they would get rings off screen, and I'm just like, where did y'all get these rings off, you know, stuff like that? When did y'all get that? Gotchard did something like that too. They would get monsters off screen. But anyway, I always end up talking about Gotchard. But another thing was the Hodu and Kion's parents. Now, we did have it was a thing that where Hodu went back home, and you know, he saw that his mom and dad got new kids and stuff, and then his mom and dad didn't remember him. But then we had that one moment, that one episode where he was delivering pizza to her, and by the end of the episode it looked like she was starting to remember him. We didn't do anything with that. Like, I wanted, like, it would have been cool for her to slowly start to remember Hodu and Kion and stuff like that. Like, we didn't do anything with that. I would have really loved to see like him reconnect with his parents, maybe to a degree, or maybe his mom starts to remember him and his dad doesn't, or maybe they both start to remember him, stuff like that. But it's like, man, like we didn't do anything with that, you know. And another thing with the whole Ring Warrior situation, I would have loved to see them meet more originals, like the original actor or the original character that actually in universe played this. They were this Sentai, they were this Ranger, right? Like how we did with Sasuke. Like Sasuke was the original. You know, he was the original Red for that team. That was him. That ring was based on him. He literally says it himself. So I would have loved to see like them meet like more originals. Like you introduced that concept that like, man, like Sasuke could legit come back and he could be his Red Ranger self again. And I would have loved to have seen like not have it happen like super frequently, but it would have also been really cool to see more original Rangers come back and be the Ranger that they were in the past. And another thing, one other thing I kind of didn't like for the final episode was the Fire Candle and Hodu fight wasn't long enough. I really do feel like it wasn't long enough. I talked about this in a short, where how come his wild form and the Ryu Tegasort form didn't show up at all for that fight. Even you really probably wouldn't even need to do the Ryu Tegasort. Well, I would like to see Hodu use those two forms when he did his one-on-one fight with Fire Candle. Like I would have loved to have seen that. And plus the Ryu Tegasort form, that is a team form. Any of them can use that. So I would have loved to see like that you know form be used, especially in the final fight. I feel like they kind of got to the end of that fight rather quickly, and that seemed weird. Like I would have loved to see him back in his like use these two forms, like the wild form and the Ryu Tegasort form. Like use these forms, because his wild form, the wild wolf form, the red and gold, I love that form. I like that form even more than the Ryu Tegasort form, even though the Ryu Tegasort form has cooler visuals. But the wild form, I just like that form more because that is exclusive to to Horu. That's his form. That's his thing. So I like that form more than the Ryutega sword. But I would have, even if I just would have loved to see that fight last a bit longer, especially with the power up that Fire Candle got. I would have loved to have seen like more of more of that fight, because that fight got done rather quickly, like faster than I thought it would. And also the whole thing with Horu and his wish and all that jazz, and I just feel like they were just throwing that, they were just shoving that down our throats, like, you don't have a wish, you don't have a wish, you don't have a wish. And it's just like, yeah, we know he doesn't have a wish, and it just seems like they were just always shoving that down, and we will always get back to this point where Horu would get down on himself because he doesn't know what wish he wants, doesn't know how to have a wish or what he wants his wish to be. And I'm just like, man, like, we know that you don't have a wish, but it's just like they kept shoving that down our throats all the time. Like, we've been here before. We've been here before. And another thing, I know I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the gripes, but I would have loved to like have the No.1 like a lot of the No.1 monsters were freaking cool. They were, a lot of the No.1 monsters were cool, but at the same time, it's like some of the No.1 monsters would kind of just show up, and then whenever they defeat that No.1 monster, you know, that the person that they capture is just like miraculously just there. And I would like to like show us when the monster came and captured that person. I don't know, I'm kind of used to that. So it was like especially when it comes down to monsters that capture people or have like an ability where they, you know, turn people into something or capture them or something like that. Sometimes with a lot of the No.1 monsters, they just were defeated and like had a random person inside of them, and we didn't know when this person got captured or anything, right? And I'm like, man, like, okay. And I do feel like the No.1 monsters could have also, maybe we could have did a thing where the No.1 monsters could also use the rings, you know, use the rings and henching up and stuff. Maybe we would have got some monster forms of a lot of Red Rangers. That's fan fiction in my head, but still, I would have liked to see that too, because, you know, Fire Kindle kind of did that, where he was with his Shikinger monster form. Like, wouldn't it be dope to have gotten more of those, like expanded more upon that? Because we saw that it's possible. Like, you could have did it for Bouquet. Maybe Bouquet probably could have got a monster form or something like that, especially after, you know, she was really pissed off at Byakuya. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of stuff. It was just there were things that I felt like we could have expanded upon more, because this to me the show really didn't feel like an anniversary series. It just felt like you had those extra reds and stuff just like kind of thrown in there just to remind you that, hey, this is an anniversary series, the big 50, you know. I just feel like you could have did more with that. I didn't. It was a lot of points where I just felt like this wasn't like an anniversary series to a degree, even though it was. But it didn't feel like sometimes it didn't feel like the main pivotal point. Another thing I feel like shouldn't have happened, or I got a big right with, is the Maya and Mamori situation and her agency. Your agency's trash. That agency is trash, and I really don't think a young woman's career should be tainted, or she shouldn't be blackballed for something this to us is minor, but to them is really big. But yeah, I like Oni's sister. She was my favorite character. She was my favorite character in Dawn Brothers, Dawn Brothers. But I didn't mind her being I really did not mind her being Goju Unicorn. I didn't mind it at all. I think it was actually pretty cool. Like her whole attitude, like she really brought that Oni sister vibe over here and made it cool. But I still do feel like the Maya Mamori stuff should not have happened. Although next after that, Tegajun. Tegajun's a terrible mother. I get it. Keza Henshin said it better, but she's sort of a terrible mom, and I guess she's making up for it. But yeah, she also forced a baby onto Tegasword. Good burn. Was not made consensually. I'm just saying. But yeah, this series, even though I have all those gripes, I do still very much love this series because number one, one of my number ones. Hey, battle for be number one, I guess. I do love the music. The music in this series was amazing. The camera work was amazing. Cinematography was amazing. Hodu became my favorite Red Ranger of all time in this series. He became my favorite Red Ranger. He beat Taya. Because at first Taya was my number one favorite Red Ranger, and then before Taya it was Lucky who was my favorite Red Ranger. So now my boy Hodu is just a little bit above Taya, but Taya's still my goat. Hodu is my new goat, even though he's a red wolf. Every fight Hodu was in, even in the beginning of Gozyuger, he was soloing so many things. Like Hodu literally has soloed a lot of Monsters of the Week by himself, and I love that. I love that about him. Like, it got to a point where when Mashido showed up, everybody started, some of the fandom started dissing Hodu, calling him trash and stuff. Like, how can you say that about a character who has literally taken down Monsters of the Week by himself? He doesn't even pose in front of the freaking explosion. He just walks off. Like, he's like, I ain't got time for no pose. Give him my ring. You know, I freaking love that. That's why Hodu became my freaking number one favorite Red Ranger of all time. I don't give a duck. Seriously. But Taya's still my number two though. And then it's Lucky. But yeah, same thing with Keon. Keon, I loved his I like Keon, but he was just so weird sometimes. He was just so freaking weird, and I hated it. I just hated how freaking creepy Keon could be. And it was just like, man, like, your Garud form is dope. It's dope. I don't like the helmet that much, especially with the big gun sticking out of your forehead. But other than that, he was just, the Garud form is amazing, but you were just so freaking weird. He was just so creepy, and I hated it. Mashido, I hated Mashido when he first got here. I love the suit. Ice, I love Ice. It's my second favorite sub element. Every time I make a character, my character has ice or electricity. But man, I hated Mashido, but he grew on me eventually. And there's another plot point that I want to talk about, which is we never saw the original Gozyuger. We never saw Mashido's team. I would have loved to have seen Mashido's team. We saw the blue from him, like we saw his blue, but we never saw he I think he was the red. Yeah, he was the red. Mashido was the red. We met his blue. We never met the green, yellow, and black. And I would have loved to have seen like the original team. I would have loved to see how did he get into this? How did he become a Gozyuger? You know, I would just love to have seen the other team members. And I guess they're presumed dead, I guess. Or they're presumed dead, or maybe they're still frozen in carbonite like freaking Mashido was. It's just, that's the thing I'm talking about. It's like there was all these plot points and stuff like that, and world building that you could have did, you know. And when it came down to the Calamity, don't even get started on a freaking Calamity. The Calamity felt like an afterthought. The Calamity felt secondary to the Ring War, even though the Ring War should be secondary to the Calamity, because the Calamity monsters were busted. They were busted. freaking Lex, or some subs I saw them call him Rex. I'm calling him Lex, okay? But yeah, like Lex, bro was literally a concept. The concept, and they had to defeat a concept. That's busted. He had the baby face, and then he had the big demon face. Like, that was so cool. But he only lasted 2 episodes, and I'm just like, all the freaking, especially with all the generals, like lasted 2 episodes, except for the blue one who was in the movie, which I'm glad that they linked and let you know that movie is freaking canon. But man, I just felt like the Calamity wasn't around enough. There were some episodes where it's just like the Calamity could make an appearance here. The Calamity could show up here. The Calamity could be doing something in the background, talking or whatever. But it never. It just there were times I really just straight up forgot about the Calamity because there was a bunch of other ish going on, you know. But man, it still was good because I still liked the final boss, because beating him was an ordeal. But our big boy Mashido defeated him, and I felt like this was like an ending to like Mashido's story, because Lex knew Mashido, and that wasn't that surprising to me. But man, I would have loved to have seen, like, give me a spin-off series, a prequel story of Mashido. It ain't gotta be that long. A short freaking maybe 10 episodes of how the original Gozyuger did it, because I was like, man, the original Gozyuger sound dope, you know. But yeah, seeing some of our characters like get Thanos snapped was funny, because these last few episodes really did feel like like Infinity War into Endgame. A lot of that really felt like that in the last episode. But man, I've talked enough. This video is going on 21 minutes. But man, but still, at the end of the day, I did love this series as much as the missing plot points and plot holes and, you know, stuff that like we thought could have happened, didn't happen, and all that jazz. I still really like Gozyuger. I'm still really looking forward to the movie, still looking forward to what they got going on. The series overall, I still give it an 8, but because there were a lot of other story beats that were dope. Hodu meeting the woman that he went to the No.1 world with, us actually going to the No.1 world and seeing what it like truly looked like walking around in it, even though they went there to fight. I do like how all the villains kind of got redeemed. The only villain I think shouldn't have got redeemed was Kyon, you know, but all our villains got redeemed. Our boy Fire Candle stood proud and true. Fire Candle was like, he was my favorite character on that side. Him and Bouquet, definitely. I love Bouquet. She was my crush this whole series, and I hope she don't get replaced, because that's a pretty girl. That's a pretty lady. Yeah, I Shining Knife and Miss Cake, or the Cake Queen. That was I liked their concept, but man, I like how we got their backstory of how they met and stuff like that. But man, Tega Jun, still a bad mom. Tega Sword, there were a lot of times where I felt like Tega Sword should have showed up. I felt like there was a lot of times where he should have showed up and helped out. I don't know. Good Burn's the best mech. I don't care. Oh yeah, also mechs in this freaking show. I love how everybody got their own separate mech and everything. Everybody got their own separate mech forms. You know, like everybody like this, because this was a team that was about a solo dolo. So I guess we're gonna keep it solo dolo. But yeah, mechs in this freaking series were awesome. Mecha fights, Megazord fights, everything were always really good to me. Well, a few here and there, but they were always good. The majority of them were really good. And mech designs and mech forms that we got, majority of them really freaking good. But man, what do you guys think? What you guys think? I'm about to say Majin Sentai, but #1 Sentai Gozyuger has officially ended. Well, main series wise has officially ended. So you guys let me know down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of my ranking? I'm still giving it an 8. But what do you guys think? What are you ranking it for yourself? And if I said anything in this video that piqued your interest, let me know. And if you made it this far, I thoroughly do appreciate it. You the GOAT, you the best, I love you. But other than that, I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, as I always say, stay henshined. And now we're off to Space Sheriff Gavon.
Yeah, the shining golden sign.